Since the day that we opened up our insurance agency 3 years ago, we've had a book club, and it has become one of the most important things that we do in our agency. Our team absolutely loves it, and if you're an insurance agency owner, I would highly recommend that you have one in your agency as well. In this video, I'll give you 10 tips on how to run a fruitful and effective book club. And we've done a lot of things incorrectly, and I'll tell you what to avoid if you decide to have a book club. First, on the screen here, you're going to see 10 books that we've read, and you'll see that they cover different topics. Now, these are just 10 of many books that we've read, and I can tell you, as somebody who did not graduate from college, reading books like this has been single-handedly the most important thing that I've done for myself professionally and helped me get to where I am today. And if it wasn't for reading these type of books, I would not be able to accomplish professionally, personally, financially what I've been able to accomplish. There was a survey done a while back that looked at how many books do normal people read versus Fortune 500 CEOs. And what they found was CEOs of Fortune 500 companies read about a book per week, or 60 books for the year, which is a lot more than what most people read. And if you're wondering, what book should I read? I could send you our list of books that we've read in our agency, as well as discussion topics that you can discuss during those book reviews. Click on the link below this video and I'll send you that list. Now, here are the 10 tips on facilitating a fruitful book club. Number 1, have your team read outside of working hours. Generally speaking, it takes about 1 hour of reading per week to complete the books that we read in our agency. That's the first tip. The second tip is cover this during the interview process. When we interview somebody, we tell them about our book club, and people absolutely love it. The right people do. And if somebody doesn't want to read, they don't want to stretch themselves, they don't want to be 1% better every day, which is one of our core values, then there's plenty of other organizations that they can work for. It just won't be ours. The third tip is have your team read physical books. Although we're fine with our team members listening to the audiobook, when you read a physical book, not only will you retain more of the principles that are outlined in the book, but you'll become a better communicator, you'll become a better writer. Overall, you'll expand your mind a lot more. And just as a pro tip, if you want to finish the book quicker, listen to the audiobook while also reading the book at the same time. The fourth tip is to break up your book reviews into sections. What I mean by that is in the early days, we would assign a book and then everybody would read it, come for the book review, and everybody would share their takeaways. And what we found was everybody would share similar takeaways. It was for the high level ideas that the book covered. And we never really got to the deeper ideas in the book. So what we do now, for example, the book that we're reading right now, Bezos Letters, we're not having 1 or 2 book reviews. We're going to have 5. We broke up the entire book into 3 to 4 chapters, and the team takes about a week to read 3 chapters. And then we gather to discuss just those 3 chapters. That has been a game changer for us because we get to dive into all the key ideas in the book. Now, the 5th tip is collect the takeaways from your team the day before. For example, we do our review on Fridays at 8 o'clock from 8 a.m. till 8:30, which means that the day before on Thursday, everybody on the team sends their takeaways. And what this allows me to know is who read the book, what their takeaways were in advance so I can follow up with them. And it also helps the team members better prepare for our meeting. Now, the next tip is have some discussion topics that you'll want to have the team discuss during the review outside of their takeaways. For example, when we get together for a review, we have everybody share their takeaways. And then on the screen, you can see here the book that we're going through, Bezos Letters. There's a chapter in there, chapter 4, called Obsess Over Customers. And the message in there was serve people so well that you can solve problems before they even know to ask. And there was an example in the book how one of the customers with Amazon bought a movie, but then he had trouble playing that movie. It would just restart from the beginning. Amazon recognized that and they sent him a refund as well as an email saying, hey, we noticed that you had trouble watching that movie. We apologize and we sent you a refund. That was a perfect example of proactively getting ahead of the problem. They weren't waiting for the customer to write up an angry email. They just refunded and sent them an email. And the discussion question we had, which is listed here on the screen, is What is one recurring problem or question that we see with our prospects or clients that we could start solving proactively without being asked? And we had everybody take a moment and write down their answers in their notepad or their phone. And some really brilliant ideas came from that. And this is one way that you can advance your organization, is by not being the one who comes up with all ideas. Your team often will come up with better ideas than you will. This is one way to do that. The next tip has to do with taking recommendations for books from your team. If you have somebody on your team that recommends a book, make sure that they've read the book and they can tell you about it. Or better yet, you should read the book in advance, read a summary of it, and see if it would be helpful for the entire team to read. The last thing you want to do is assign a book that everybody hates and they don't want to attend your book clubs anymore. So vet those books really well. Now, the next tip has to do with picking books that will help team members improve personally, professionally, and financially. For example, one of the books that we read was called Why We Sleep. If somebody sleeps better, they'll function better. Even sleep deniers, sleep haters like Rob.
Rob, what do you think of sleep?
Sleep? Total waste of time. Total waste of time. You should never sleep. Never sleep.
Started sleeping better. And that was purely because of a book that we read. And we really picked that book so that he sleeps better. Financially, we read a book called The Psychology of Money. So that was a really, really good book for the team. On a professional side, one of the books that we really liked was Atomic Habits. So pick books that are going to help the team members improve personally, professionally, and financially. Now, one of the things that you might be thinking is, okay, when should I start having a book club? Should I do that when I have a bigger team? My advice would be to start now. Regardless of how many people you have, if you have one person or you have 10 people, start this week. Ask your team if this is something they can get behind and start having a book club with the current team that you have. Don't wait to hire more people. And the final tip is for agency owners, the business owners. Don't just do the minimum with reading books. For every book that you assign to your team, you should read a book as well. So if you're going to read 12 books as an agency, then you as an agency owner should read 24 books. Instead of watching another Netflix show or playing video games, pick up a book and read a book yourself in your own time. You are, as an agency owner, the professional lid for your agency. The agency cannot outgrow what you know. And one way that you can expand your mind and improve professionally is by reading. And if you want a list of all of the books that we read as an agency and the ones that we recommend, as well as some good discussion questions, simply click on the link below this video and I'll send you that list.